We're gonna make a YouTube video of teaching you how to.
I don't even did that. Somebody wanted to buy my stuff. Do it with my finger and get a rag.
Well, I just use that Q-tip like that. I mean, it doesn't take much at all. Just a tiny little bit is all it really takes. I mean, that's enough lube to do all 20 pieces of. And there you can't put
like that right there, right?
Yeah, just you can't put much. And then run that one through your press.
Is that too much?
No, it'll be fine.
Not too much on the inside?
No, watch what'll happen to it. And that's where you need the lube on the inside so it don't stick.
Just keep pulling down?
Keep going up.
Huh?
Yeah.
Up?
Yes. No, you need to go up so you can pull the piece of brass out. You see any lube on it now? See,
nope.
It pushed it all the bottom. That's why I only put a ring right there, because it'll push it all the way down.
Like it dented the neck or anything. And you just, how many of these you?
Do you 20 up? And
but I gotta lube every one of them.
They say to. I
mean, I don't care.
I don't. I for 25-06, I do about every fifth one. But I told you I got one stuck on a PRC, and
I'm just gonna put a little dab on it where I can dunk I'm not wasting it and squirting it all over.
Just put it on your
dab out here.
That's enough to do 100.
I know. It's magic.
And before you open the can on one of those, you need to, with the lid on there, you need to squeeze it around because it's separating. See how it's different color? Now you can make your own if you want with lanolin and
you'll have to show me that at a later
yeah, just like that. You squeeze that all around like you would with what do they call that in muzzle loading, that boar butter.
I found that too, man. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's when you're on a range and you're picking stuff up and you get brass that's like this and doesn't have a letter or name on it.
Like that stuff we just looked at. Close to that neck, or is that fine?
No, that's fine. A little bit on the inside. On your upswing, the reason it was difficult coming up was you need to get some on that inside. Not much, just a little bit. When you on your upswing, that's why it was tight. And it's just right there on that upswing, because those are probably.
I can see where that would get to net. Yeah, I see.
New dies, and they've never been used, and there's no lube in them.
These have been used.
Oh, have they?
Yeah, these were the very first thing I bought from this guy that sold me the whole setup.
But if you dent a neck, you know what you do with it?
I remember
go shoot it. Go shoot it. It irons it right back out.
On that last one. That's all the way up, right? Still a little stiff. Yeah, it didn't dent it.
Do what?
It didn't dent it, but it pushed
but see how you got the lube on there? So the next one, I wouldn't put any lube on the outside there at all. Because if it wears down, if it gets on the inside of the die, the only thing you can do is spray carburetor cleaner or something to get it out. I mean, that's all you need, that right there. You don't need just a little tiny ring.
Yeah. None on the outside.
None on the outside, just a little bit on the inside.
Just, you don't have to even, it doesn't even have to be visible, huh? Put me a board in behind here.
I don't know if I'd stick my head in there.
Right. That's what I'm afraid of. Just cracked it. That ain't worth the making. I need a board. I knew it was going to do that. Once I seen how hard it was.
Trim to length.
2.005.
2.2 inches, 5 thousandths.
Oh, that brass fell there, man. I got to get rid of some of this crap.
I just said it.
Oh, okay. I see what you're talking about. You said
That's what I was doing. I was
That's cool.
setting.
How did you
So,
set it with a
take your-
micrometer or what? Stick it up here? Is that how you set it?
No, I had to take it out and measure it. We're 2,000ths off.
Okay, so
But-
you moved it 2,000.
But no, I did it how many times? Now, if you want to confirm it, make sure I'm on the money there. See, I'm
Two.
I'm too much. It's supposed to be 2.005, and we're 2.007. See that?
That needs to come down
It should be
some more,
5.
doesn't it?
No, it ain't. I'm just 2,000. Every time you shoot that brass, it's going to get longer. Okay, you cannot go past maximum, but I don't trim until I get to maximum. You see what I'm saying? I don't necessarily trim
How are you
every
getting
single time.
005 is what I'm asking.
Huh?
How are you getting 2.005? That's 2.007.
2.005. If it was here, it'd be 0.010. There's your 100th. 100s. See the 2 inches?
Yeah, I see the 2.
These numbers are going to be your 200ths. This is going to be your 10s, and this is your 1s.
But it said 005, didn't it?
Yeah.
And that's 0, like 6.5. 5 is in between, right dead smack, and knots are 2 down, the longest one.
And you just push it, don't go no further, and then you're done.
Sweet, dude. I kind of like it myself.
Now,
I kind of like it myself, brother man. You hold it this way, don't you? Huh?
yeah, you got to float it. If it gets on there cattywampus, it's not going to be.
Why is that not grabbing right, though? It's not wheeling in like, you know what I'm saying? The other one was doing the same. Brass like you're talking about, though.
So it's all flat.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to turn this on. First, you need to do the primer pocket right there. This is all by feel. You gotta learn the feel for it, because if you get that in there crooked,
You wallow it out.
well, that, and you can hurt yourself. Matter of fact, I'd even consider taking that thing off, because it can catch. But you'll just feel it when it cleaned it all good and shiny. I mean, that looks pretty good to me.
It's got
from
some
here.
stuff down in the
You ain't
bottom
gonna
of
get it perfect.
No, I'm just saying I was just barely did it. I'm getting used to it. You know what I mean?
I mean, it looks good to me. Now you wanna ream the inside out. You always ream the inside out. You want to keep it straight, and you go by feel, and then you want to look in there. You're cutting a 45-degree groove in there.
Right.
And otherwise, it's going to shave your bullets. Your boat tails, like what you're shooting, it's not going to affect it as much. But remember the old-fashioned bullets that were square on the end?
They can hang on it.
You would actually shave them.
Is that cutting enough?
Now, see, there's some chatter on it too. Like I said, it's by feel. I just go by. Now look at it. See, it had chatter on it, and now you want to do the. Remember, I've done thousands of them, so that's.
No, I was telling Critter the
And
same thing.
now you're done.
Does that look good enough?
I mean, if you want, you can do that.
Down inside of it?
I don't ever do that,
It's there, buddy. It's
But-
awful easy to do.
but this right here is what, $150, $200, and it's well worth it. Now you can sit here and do this by hand.
It's worth more than that.
I've
I
done
looked it up, man.
hundreds like this.
They want $200 something for one of them nowadays. It's well worth it, ain't it, buddy? And we haven't done this one yet either.
Yep. No, you need to do that one.
Gosh dang, I'll reinforce that thing tonight, dude.
No, you got to get a process going.
I know.
Now, since those are good and clean, but after you've shot it a few times, that's what you need to use. That's to cut it. Primer pocket uniformer. There's only two sizes of primers, larges and smalls. But see, that's not that dirty.
That's not that clean though either. I could use a little bit more, right? Aren't these for like cleaning the hole out? Where you don't get crap
you don't want to mess with that hole. That hole should never
have to mess with it.
It's not a muzzle loader. Should never have to mess with it. A lot of people don't even do the step you're doing, but
it's there. It's awful easy to do.
Looks good.
Might as well just take that thing off.
Yeah, no, I mean,
we got that set up, huh?
You can. That's an injury waiting to happen.
You ain't lying. I see it.
Right.
We don't even need it now. We got this. I like this. I like it. Once I learn how to use it, once I learn how to set it, that's pretty neat, Cam. It doesn't take much to trim them off.
But see, if you've got
get the dummy round,
if you got a dummy round, you just loosen that up, slide this, and set it.
I've got plenty of all of them, and we'll make a dummy round and put everything. Take a Sharpie like you did and write it on there. I'll reinforce this tomorrow.
Like you were talking about
this all
bringing Creedmoor dies and all that kind. You've got to stay. The only thing that should be on this table at one time
is what you're working
is
on.
308. Nothing else, because that's where you get into trouble. You can hear by the.
Look, that was pretty good pressure on it. I felt it.
Yeah, see, there's a little bit of chatter, like a diamond in there. You don't have to put a lot of pressure. Just smooth out those little rough little edges. Mm-hmm. See, it'll start cutting and then it smooths out. You know what I'm saying? You can hear it, you can feel it. I mean, you don't want to overdo it or you're taking it down, but you will get
pretty good there. It felt pretty smooth.
Now that's perfect. See, there's no chatter left to it.
I felt that
but you will, smooth. Like I said, it's all about feel.
I felt what you're talking about.
And there, you're just taking any burrs off the outside.
Right. It doesn't take much.
And the way you test that is you just run your finger. Do you feel any burrs, like a knife or nothing?
No, not at all.
I mean, it should be just fine.
Feel it. I'll make sure. Feels good. Nice.
For a while. Nope, you're getting way ahead of yourself there.
You got to put the primers.
You have to disassemble it.
It's got the push rod RZ in it.
Yeah, you got to put a shell holder in there.
You got to take it all the way down.
You got to take it apart.
I experienced this a while ago.
Don't lose that rod, okay? You're gonna
I took the other one apart and put it back together before you ever got here. I learned all about it a while ago.
Okay, there you go. That's all you need to take out of it. Now you put.
And then you set your collet on here. Right?
No, it's this shell holder that's right there.
Gotta get that out of there.
Yeah.
You should have had me do that before I took this thing apart.
You're fine. Just don't turn it upside down. It won't come out unless you turn it upside down.
That way, yeah.
Okay, raise your lever up there a little bit, and that just pops out the front.
I kind of did a little research.
Now that thing there is when I talk about learning the feel of it.
Yes.
That right there is what I had the most trouble with.
I remember
because I was over crimping them.
Yes, pushing it too far down in the pocket.
Now, that's what this part of the caliper, what you can use that for, is to measure how deep you're putting that primer. That primer needs to be 1 to 2 thousandths below the edge. Another way to do it is you put your brass here and it should not hit anything, right? Mm-hmm. If it wobbles, you didn't seat it far enough.
Let me get this back together before you go yakking at me.
The problem is this plunger.
I know. I experienced that a while ago. I went.
Do you understand why I want more than one shell holder?
I went through all that with that other one that didn't have push rod, and I learned how to start there and break it down. I didn't just sit there, my friend. Yeah, it was a pain in the butt without nobody around.
So if I'm doing Creedmoor and now I'm doing PRC and you got to take that thing apart. Now,
What?
if you
I
want,
get the push rods and everything. I'll
if
have
you
2 or
want
3 of them.
this right here, you drop your primer there. You raise this up. Well, when you go backwards, you come down, you put your primer in there, and
That's
you
a
come
primer
down,
seater too, ain't it?
and that puts the primer in there. And there's supposed to be a tube you can attach right here that's full of primers.
I think there's one up there. I think I got
But
one.
then you go like this, and you
I
seat
thought that's
that
what that
primer.
was for. And then it just falls right back in there.
But when you do that hand primer, that is so much easier than handling each individual primer. So you don't want to load rounds and not seat the bullet immediately afterward. We don't want to pour any powder
Right.
that you're not putting the bullet in because
I
humidity.
understand. Yes, I understand.
Now, what you're going to do is you need to open this up. Now, see, this is ingenious.
this, I
No. Take that off of there. This is ingenious. Don't open those yet. See these little grooves?
Yep.
All right. What you're going to do, you only want to open primers that you're going to your tape's still too much. Because if you mix primers up, throw them away. I've gotten into that with, well, I don't know. Was that Magnum? Was that Pistol? Was that...
I
And
don't have any magnums till we go to that 7
all
mag.
you can do is just throw them away if you don't know which is which.
I'm gonna.
All right.
I'll be
Just
working on strictly.
barely open that, okay? Now you're going to lay your finger across everything. Push it in a little bit. You
About
just
2 or
want
3.
you just want 2. You don't want to put them back in there. Okay? Lay it there. Now don't touch it. Now pick this up and slowly shake it back and forth and see what happens.
There's more.
Isn't that the coolest thing ever?
Yeah, it is.
So when you dump that with 100 in there, and some of them are upside
kinda
down,
shake it around.
and they all go upright. That's what those
cool,
little
isn't it?
grooves do.
All right, then. That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I don't know who came up with that.
I don't either, but they're smart son of guns.
But see, you don't want to try. You don't really want to touch these with your fingers. If
Right.
you get, this is why I don't like oil. Like your oil here. If your oil gets on the inside of that primer, it'll
It's
ruin.
done. Oh,
It'll
I know.
ruin the
I
primer.
read up on that earlier. When I bought this, I got that out. I found all the paperwork for every piece of equipment I got. And I found it all. He had everything, man. He had it all laid out there. Buddy.
Now there's a gate right there to allow those to go in and out because you turn that. See that?
Mm-hmm. It goes in this side right here, right?
Yep. And you don't have to, it barely goes in. You don't have to force nothing. Don't break it. It's just plastic. Okay, now tilt it a little bit. Take you a piece of brass and stick it in the shell holder. Now your gate is shut there. You need to slide that. There you go. Now just turn it sideways and the primer is going to fall in there, and now you just
I need to turn that collet up towards this, don't I?
Yeah, no.
Huh?
Just fine. Now you just squeeze it, although, here it comes. See the primer coming up?
Mm-hmm.
Now,
It's almost better.
I was going to say,
Almost
the way
better.
I do it is like that, just like that.
You're right.
Okay?
I can tell the difference, yeah.
And now you go by, this is by feel too. I don't know, mine is anyways. Because I usually want about a finger's gap right there. You don't want there, stop. That's about where mine goes. Yours, I don't know. All I know is let it up, and then let's take your finger and
You could almost mark that rod, couldn't you?
yeah, but
About a finger.
then they could be different. Now, see, it's not sticking out at any. I would probably go, but see, I was denting them. I was putting so much pressure. I was taking them all the way home, but that's fine.
Taking them all the way
But you
home.
ever have a shotgun shell? You pull the trigger on and it didn't go off
It feels like it's inset
because
some.
it seated the primer. That's what can happen is if it's not
It
seated
feels
a
like
thousands.
it's in some. It's
I
not
think it's
sticking out
fine,
any.
but I would go. I think you're fine there, but the next one I would go just a tad bit more. It's all by feel, and you'll get to learn. I mean, I can.
Oh, something.
Hey, just tap it. There you go. Okay, you didn't. Your primer's sitting here.
Oh, okay, I see. It came back out, didn't it?
And
Not like
maybe
that.
a little bit more, I think.
It won't go anymore.
Okay, then stop. See, I was crushing them all the way to the
Oh,
end,
shit.
and I was flattening them
I
out.
felt it stop and seat. I mean, I
Okay.
squeezed it till it seated.
Okay, feel this one.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want. Where'd the other one go? Now feel this one.
It's in a little bit, ain't it?
You'll feel. I mean, we're only talking.
It's in a little bit, but I felt it seat on that one.
That's
It's smooth until it seats and stops.
1,000ths difference there.
Oh, yeah, every bit of it. All right,
Yeah.
Bobo.
But
Nice. I'm liking it.
that will conclude our reloading.